Right from the start, I wanted to put my body into my work. I wanted to put my own experiences into my work, and the experiences I had had, which had been most profound, were on the football field, I think, at that point. So I think instinctually I looked at those experiences and tried to draw them into what I was making in the studio, and started using my body that way and creating situations that put some sort of a resistance against my body. And I think as an athlete you understand that your body requires resistance in order to grow. It's something you take for granted. The whole training process is built upon that understanding. So I think when I was confronted with this idea of being in a studio and generating form, it was a way in which I could understand form being developed with a self-imposed resistance placed upon it, as it does in the body. So those were the ideas that started the drawing restraint project. This body of work began with by selecting 5 locations that would eventually come together as one body. Once those locations were established, I went to those places and started writing stories that would grow out of those particular places. As a student, I was focusing on the sciences when I entered college. In anatomy classes, I came upon a drawing that was a comparison between the male and the female reproductive system in early fetal development, and they looked virtually identical. I started drawing that, and I think it started becoming symbolic for me as a place where sexual energy was pure and unformed, unchanneled. I went to my sister's wedding and I saw a doctor who I grew up with. I was telling him about what I was doing in school, about this system I was trying to draw out, and he said, you know, you should really look at the cremaster muscle. If you're trying to create a story, which I was eventually, this muscle could be the muscle that would pull those organs out of that undifferentiated state into a differentiated state. And I think it's like right around that time that I was sort of craving to let the work become more narrative and to tell a story, while at the same time it still made sense to me to use these biological systems as a way of organizing a story or making a structure for a story. The cremaster muscle kind of became the agency within this story, or the conflict. And I think it also appealed to me as a title in the way that it sounds like, you know, an action film or a horror film.